All right, hey guys, this is Joseph Lucero with harvestingstrength.com, and today's video is, do you really need a handler? So let's kind of break this down real quick. In the sport of powerlifting, where you squat, bench, and deadlift, at competitions, you're gonna see a lot of individuals with someone else who stands by their side and kind of guides them along the day. Now, a lot of times it's their coach, the person who works them out, gets them prepared for competition. It might be a coach that works with one person, bunches of people, but nonetheless, there is someone that you will see with a lifter that typically handles their ability throughout their performance. So like I said, it's usually a coach, maybe a friend, whomever it is. They're trying to give them guidance throughout the day so the lifter can perform. Now, let's kind of talk about this just a little bit more in depth with the sense of handlers and athletes. So powerlifting, you get 3 attempts per lift, squat, bench, and deadlift. So if you get 3, 3, 3, that's 9 lifts. And typically you'll open up with a lighter weight and then build your way up to hit a max effort lift in order to hopefully help you hit a PR, hit a personal record. And some athletes feel they need someone there to guide them from the first to second to third lift to, give them tips, give them advice, coach them up, and then get them ready for every attempt therefore after. So one of the issues I have with this idea is that I never had a handler. When we would go to competitions, it would just be groups of us. So, if it was like people like myself, Steve, Raul, Ryan, etc., we would go to competitions that happened to be the same ones. And then what we would do is we would be there lifting. My friend would give me a lift off. I'd give them a lift off. They might tell me something about my lift. I'd fix it, etc. But for the most part, I just kind of navigated the day on my own. Because when I would train and prepare for competitions, usually when I was peaking, I was copying and mimicking some of the events or the attempts I would take in competition. So like if I wanted to squat 600 and in the gym I would go 530, 570, then 600, then in the meet I would go 530, 570, 600. So I would almost replicate some of those standards. Usually I wouldn't go all the way in, meaning, for example, I might not necessarily, when I go into my attempts in the competition, I might not hit 100% in the gym clearly. So if I wanted to hit a 600 squat, I might hit 580, 570, and then get the rest and then go into competition. But when it comes to handling, I would just kind of prepare all that for myself. I would spend weeks thinking about my attempts. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do on my first, my second, my third attempt, etc. I would really think and focus in that sense. So I kind of had all the things ready for me when I would go into competition day. But there are some different lifters who do different things. And there might be some people who say, yeah, well, I do that too, but the handler is there for me to, make sure I feel hydrated, make sure I have all my food ready, make sure I'm paying attention for when I'm supposed to go next. Maybe they're giving me cues and ideas to think about each attempt. I mean, I get that too, but I feel like you should have more control of your day than to give it up for someone else. End of the day, with us in powerlifting, it's not like we're in the NFL and it's a multi-person operation. It's you going in there, facing the barbell and attacking it. And I mean, if you're not sure if you're about to go and you're not paying attention to that, I don't think that means you are necessarily as laser focused as you should be. That might turn some people the wrong way or maybe it bothers some people, but I just think maybe you want to be more prepared than just hanging out and overdoing the music like on your headphones instead of focusing on when you're supposed to go and trying to amp up in that sense too. Because also, if you know you're 3 people out, now you're gonna amp yourself up a little bit more or bring yourself down. Like I would get so chaotic when it would come to bench press and I had to focus. If I knew I was 5 people out, then from there I could start telling myself, okay, bring myself down. I'm gonna turn off the music. I'm just gonna focus, etc. So I kind of think, there's also a benefit to being more focused on those details than not. But then there's other people who say that the coaches help them, with their technique on the day of the meet. And that's something I do. I go to meets with some of my clients and I'll help them, hey, slow down. You're letting the bar roll before you pull it, so now it's out of position. Those things I definitely help with on the day of. And I think it's just a different experience for me because I never really got that opportunity with anyone else to do that for me. But let's say you go to a meet, you don't have a handler. maybe someone can record for you and then you can watch back, or maybe it's a live stream, you can go back and notice maybe there's something wrong with your performance. All in all, what I'm trying to say with this handler situation is sometimes I think people give too much power to the handler, and then they, go and perform, and if things don't go well, then, maybe it was their handler's fault. Oh, they forgot to tell them 520, not 510, or something like that. Don't give up all your power. Be your number one advocate. Yes, it's good for people to help you, but don't be the person who is just gonna, like I said, give up all that power. You gotta advocate for yourself. And what I tell some of my clients is when they do warm-ups, I'm like, well, how'd you warm up in the gym? Do the exact same thing. Don't treat meet day any day different, or any different just because you're in a meet. Keep everything routine. You pick up all your weights in practice, just keep picking them up in the meet day. I know that some people might say, oh, well, that's going to exhaust me. But I mean, honestly, if that exhausts you, then maybe there's an issue with your endurance or something like that, or your threshold of work. So, end of the day, do I think a handler is necessary? Not really. It's a good benefit, something I didn't have, so maybe I have a biased opinion, but hopefully you'll take some of the information from this video, start advocating for yourself and preparing for the meet before it comes so that you're not completely sidetracked by all the small little details.